Thanks for checking out Scotty's Hobbies. Today we are going to be replacing the front brake pads and rotors on this 2000 Toyota Corolla. This will be the same, if not very similar, to the Geo Prizm or Chevy Prizm as well, from the year models of 97, 98 to 2002, I believe. If this video does help you out, make sure you comment below with the year, make, model, engine size, and let me know how it all went. This video should be super quick, as most of my other videos are, so make sure you stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share while you're watching too. These are brake Shim kits. It lets you know, it's a very visual aid to let you know if you need new brake pads or not. You can see a green Shim is okay, a red one, hey, when it's this short or when you have this much brake pad left, you know you need some brake pads. So if you don't have these, not laying around, they do help you out. Look for a link in the description below to purchase some of those. We're going to get right into this video. To remove the caliper, I make it a little bit easier by turning the wheel towards me. Got a little muscle memory there, so it went back into place a little bit. Not as far, though. Made it a little bit easier. Using a 14mm socket, I'm going to remove this bolt holding a hose bracket right here. You want to remove this so it gives you a little more wiggle room when your caliper is completely off. Set the bolt off to the side. And then make sure your hose is nice and loose. You got some wiggle room right there, so when you lift up your caliper, it's nice and free. Using your 14mm socket, I'm going to remove the caliper bolts into the slider, into the caliper bracket, or on this one, or this vehicle, I believe it's called a torque plate, is what they call the caliper bracket. These bolts right here are pretty tight, and make sure you stay tuned until the end to make sure you know what the torque specification is on these bolts so you don't over tighten and break them, or under tighten them and let them fall out and lose your brakes later. Make sure they're properly torqued when you're doing a good brake job. If you're going to take the time to do this job yourself, you might as well take the time to do it right, and it just adds a couple more seconds, couple more dollars, and makes everything just last a lot longer. Now we got both these caliper bolts out. Set them off to the side so you don't lose them or break them. I'm not sure how you do that, but you don't want to do that either. Remove the caliper. This might take a pry bar or a flathead screwdriver to help you pry the caliper off of the brake pads if they are stuck, I should say. So if they are, don't be too alarmed. Sometimes it takes a little oomph to get them off. I set my caliper up here on the strut. You don't want to let the caliper hang on the brake hose. Don't want to add any stress to that. That is unnecessary. Sometimes I'll use a bungee cord or something to hold the caliper onto the strut, just so it doesn't fall when I'm doing something like this. These bolts right here holding the caliper bracket onto the hub assembly are really, really tight on this vehicle. I'm pretty sure they're over tightened in this case. The torque specification is way less than I'm pretty sure what it took to get it off, unless I was feeling really, really weak that day and didn't know about it. This took a little bit longer than I thought, so I'm going to speed it up for you. The whole process of doing this brake job takes about an hour and a half, and honestly, if you were to do this at a shop, it would probably cost you around $300 to $350 to get this job done, doing the pads and the rotors. Doing it at home, I think we spent a little bit less than $150 for both brake rotors and a good pad set with a hardware kit included. So if you're going to do it right, make sure you get good parts. Don't get the cheap parts if you're doing it on your own, and just take time to do the job right. Now we have the caliper bracket or the torque plate removed. Take a good look at it. Just make sure you have a good visual idea of what it's going to take to reinstall it. And so you get into a spot, you're like, oh, was this there? Was that there? Make sure your pads are on the right direction if you have wear indicators or whatnot. Now we're going to remove the slider pins, clean these off. Then we're going to re-lubricate them and install them. First, to get all the grease and grime off with your dirtier towel. That's why I have two different towels. But the first one's to remove the heavier stuff, and the second one's more to polish it up, make sure it's nice and clean. Take a good gander at it, make sure my slider pin doesn't have any abnormal wear. Make sure it slides in and out very easily of the caliper bracket, and move on to the next. You don't want to have too much grease to where it's popping out the boot when you push your slider pin all the way into the bracket. So now is a good time to push it all the way in, jam it in as far as it could go, so you can wipe off the grease now, rather than later when you're trying to complete the job, or when you're driving down the road and you get grease start flying everywhere. Who wants that? Get these properly lubed up. If you need some lube, make sure you look for a link in the description to purchase some. This BJ is just humming along. Now we're going to remove the brake pads. When you do remove these, make sure you take note of any wear indicators or different types of sliders or springs, if there is any on your brake pads. On this set, I don't believe there was any, but a lot of other models have a wear indicator, let you know that your brakes are getting bad, and they'll grind or screech before you actually get metal to metal. I get premium brake pads every time I get brake pads. And in this case, it's one of the few times if I could get them on the local store or from a local store rather than online, I would do so. Because paying a little bit more now for a lifetime warranty product is a little bit better than saving maybe 15 bucks. But you got to do what you got to do. So if you can find the cheap ones online and that's what you need to do, hey, go ahead and do it. Also, make sure you replace all the hardware. So get a brake pad kit with a hardware kit. So your shims right here or your silencers like on the sides are all new. You don't want any dust building up on those, or you don't want any pre-built up dust. That'll cause your brake pads to not slide in and out. Now before we go much further, you want to remove the cap on your brake fluid reservoir. Just make sure it's loose, no dust to go in, but if you're going to push any brake fluid back into the reservoir when you're compressing your piston right here, you don't want to blow any seals up there on the reservoir. This process right here is super easy. Grab a old pad or a known bad pad if you have another one laying around, and your brake caliper compressor. This compressor is a little cheap one I found at a local parts store for about $9. I have a pneumatic one I paid about $150 for, and I have a different caliper compressor that I use more for Mercedes that cost me about 30 bucks. So they mostly work for each other or would be compatible with each other, but it all varies on how much you want to spend when you buy a brake caliper compressor. Get this done, push it all the way in as far as you can until you can't compress the piston anymore. You might see some fluid falling from your reservoir at this time or when you do your next side or other side. Don't be alarmed. You're going to press the brake pad before you get going on your way, and you'll check the level when you're done. With the caliper completely compressed, set it back up on the strut and spring so it doesn't hang from the hose. Still would be a bad idea if it fell, or if you just let it hang. I don't know if it does much damage, but if it does, or if you know somebody, tell us a story about it in the description below. Remove the rotor. It's just floating right there. It's called a floating rotor. If you have a problem removing it, hit it with the hammer a few times, especially if it's one you're not going to use. If you're using it again, you're going to machine it. Be careful with the hammer, but get it off. And be careful with the hub assembly. You don't ruin the bearings. You might use some WD-40, but it's just floating. Nothing should be holding it on. When I do the reassembly process, I like to use a lug nut to hold the rotor up. It makes it it's a lot easier to hold everything in place during the reassembly process. So it lines up the caliper easier. It slides the caliper right on, just like this, or the caliper bracket, I should say. You can see the bracket has the new hardware already loaded into it. The pads are not in. I've noticed that makes it a little bit harder to set your caliper bracket if the pads are already loaded into your bracket. These caliper bracket bolts or torque plate bolts should be properly torqued down when you're doing this job. I use a 1/2-inch torque wrench when we're all said and done to do that. These should only be torqued down to about, I believe, 65 foot-pounds, which is pretty light for a caliper bracket, and that's according to Mitchell On Demand 5. That's where I got those torque specs. But tighten these up, hand tight first. It's going to be hard to get 65 foot-pounds out of being snug, so don't be too afraid of over-tightening. The camera was in a horrible spot in this case, but you can see right here I have a 1/2-inch torque wrench tightening these bolts down. 65 foot-pounds. Keep double checking that because that's really not that much. Most of caliper bracket bolts are running about, I'd say around 100 pounds actually. So this one is pretty light. We're going to load the brake pads. In this one they weren't directional. You didn't have any wear indicators or anything like that. So the brake pads just slide right into the caliper bracket with the new Shim sliders. And to get your caliper itself on, you might need to push the slider pins into the caliper bracket when setting the caliper over the brake pads and everything. So that might be something you're going to hang up on. It's like the wings, you could say, of the caliper on the sliders themselves. So the sliders are pushing out. When tightening down your caliper bolts, these are going to be 14 millimeter bolts. The torque specification on these is 25 foot-pounds. That's not that much on a torque specification either, but these are really weak bolts. So 25 foot-pounds is about normal on a caliper bolt itself. That's not that bad. Now we are going to install the bolt holding the hose bracket right here. This I don't really torque down. If you wanted to torque it down, I can't imagine the torque specification being more than 15, 20 foot-pounds. If it's a must, I can look it up, but I don't recall one being there, but I didn't look too hard for it. Get this one nice and snug tight. German torque specs of good and tight are just fine. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Comment below with what the vehicle was that this video helped you on. I love to hear about it. But before you go too far on this brake job, we need to make sure we pump the brake pedal to get pressure built up into the brake system. But before we do that, make sure you admire your work. You can see every time I do something and it's like shiny like this, I always like to sit back and say, wow, this is going to be good. I love doing this. Can't wait for the next one, and hopefully it's helping you guys. So just stand back, look at your job, admire it, gain some pride in your ride, and it's your vehicle is going to treat you different when you treat it different by taking care of it properly. Back to the car, get your brake fluid reservoir properly topped off and the cap on it. Now before we go too far, this is when you're going to hit your brake pedal. 4 to 5 times is usually all it takes. You're going to build up the pressure in the brake system. After you do this, you get a nice firm brake pedal. The vehicle is not on, by the way. You're going to get a nice firm brake pedal, and then go back and check your fluid reservoir. Make sure you're topped off. You should not have any leaking fluid at your caliper or your brakes, because we didn't open anything that would be causing that. So hopefully this video helped you out. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for checking out Scotty's Hobbies, and I'll see you on the next hopefully helpful video.